Porsche driver who's 76 accused of intentionally hitting a Florida construction worker directing traffic. Let's check this out. And it kind of seems like a case of someone who feels like they're entitled to whatever they are getting punished. So let's check this out.
Oh, you arrested me for some balloony that is claiming I hit him with the car. And he ran up, put his hood on the car, put his hands on the car, and there were other buddies who were standing there and probably, and then he was swearing, cussing, and said, you gonna run me over or something like that. You know?
So if you wouldn't mind just putting your hands out like that.
You know what this is all about.
Okay. Just double lock them so they don't close in on you.
So here's the thing, right? Before we get into this, if you are someone who does drive either a car that you like driving, that you just like the car, right? Maybe it's your dream car, whatever, or that you end up having a very expensive car, or even if you don't have an expensive car, if you just drive in general, what you need is to have a dash cam that records audio. Because if he didn't do anything and he has dash cam footage, he could completely get away with this and be scot free for not doing anything. But, of course, that's a double edged sword because potentially, if he did do this stuff and there was a recording of him actually doing it, then that's going to be a pretty bad issue, too. But I'm just saying, you should have a dash cam, period. A 76-year-old Porsche driver has been accused of deliberately hitting a construction worker directing traffic in Florida during an argument over a lane closure, officials said. Donald Stemley of Ocala was arrested Thursday and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and a felony just 90 minutes after he allegedly struck a worker with his Porsche Cayenne at a road construction site in Palm Coast. The victim, identified only as Isaiah, told a Flagler County Sheriff deputy he was working for a private company repaving a roadway in the area when he noticed Emily's 2021 black Porsche Cayenne, which has a price tag of about $67,000, becoming impatient while stopped in traffic. According to a charging affidavit obtained by the Post, instead of waiting for his turn to proceed, Stimley entered the only lane being used while a second lane was closed for road work, authorities said. Isaiah said he flagged in the Porsche to get the driver to stop before he caused a head-on collision with another vehicle. An irate Stimley allegedly yelled at the construction worker standing in front of his car that he needed to make a left turn. Then he revved his engine and proceeded to lunge forward into Isaiah, striking his legs and pushing him back against his will, the charging document stated. The worker then told Stemley that he had struck him with the car, to which the septuagenarian allegedly said that he did not mean to before driving away. The victim managed to snap a picture of the Porsche's license plate and called 911. I mean, that's some really quick thinking to be able to take a photo of that. So a deputy who responded to the scene spoke to the victim's two co-workers who corroborated his account. And less than 2 hours later, the deputy tracked down Stemley at a sprawling home in Palm Coast and questioned him about the incident, as seen in a body camera video that was released by the sheriff's office, which we just checked out. So Stemley, wearing a gray t-shirt and shorts, claimed that the traffic regulator ran in front of his car and hit it, and he denied striking the man with the vehicle. When asked if it was his intention to hit the worker, the Porsche owner replied, "Of course not. Why would I run over somebody?" Stimley suggested that the worker may have been trying to take advantage of him because he saw him driving a nice car. Stimley then slightly changed his story, saying it was possible the car lunged a little bit, but he insisted that he did not hit the gas pedal with the intention of mowing down the victim. Speaking to a woman sitting in the front yard during his arrest, Stimley called the victim a loony. As he was being led away in handcuffs, a defiant Stimley exclaimed, "What a joke." And according to the sheriff's office, the construction worker did not suffer life threatening injuries during the incident. Although no one enjoys waiting in road construction traffic, following the directions of traffic safety workers is necessary to ensure everyone's safety, Flagler County Sheriff Rick Stelly stated. Stimley was released from jail the following day after posting a $2,500 bond. And if convicted as charged, the 76-year-old could face up to 15 years in prison. Now, here's the thing: he probably isn't going to serve any time. What's probably going to happen is he's probably going to settle with the victim and pay a pretty penny, most likely. But let's check this out. That's the ticket. Patience, self control, courtesy are traits that are getting rarer and rarer. Bingo. The difference between a Porsche and a porcupine is the pricks on the outside of then porcupine. A friend of mine directing traffic was deliberately hit by an angry driver. Oddly, that driver was also in an expensive car. Major injuries, successful lawsuit. See, this is basically what I'm thinking is actually going to happen, is that it's going to be more so like a lawsuit and settle without any charges. Or conviction, I should say. Just so the old boy will write a check. Oh well, the post was careful not to say Florida man, now it's Porsche man from Florida. Trust me, this man would never be convicted, because if he is convicted, it would be a felony conviction, which means he wouldn't be able to possess any firearms. And the state of Florida will go to extreme to ensure his right to bear arms. Blah 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 blah. The state of Florida, I think, is actually supposed to be very strict. Blah 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 blah. Hope the worker sues him for mills and wins. He probably won't be suing for millions of dollars, but he will definitely sue for a good amount of money. Get a dash cam, cheap insurance. I agree. Porsche owners are apparently an angry bunch. Woman who shot a homeless man in Nashville spared jail time? What? That's crazy. I would wait in traffic. You never know who's carrying a weapon. People get shot in LA because of stuff like that. Here's the thing: what people need to understand, right, is that there's a lot of very stupid drivers that exist in this world, right? And it only takes one stupid driver to ruin your life, your car, your day, etc. Right? So even if you're doing everything right and someone ends up basically going nuts, let's say that you flick them off or do whatever and badmouth them or whatever, right? You engage with them in some form instead of just ignoring them. It could end very badly. And even if you're in the right, even if you end up protecting yourself, you could still end up losing your livelihood. Like, that's the sad situation about all this, right? Like, there are people that are crazy that exist in this world, and if you basically engage with them at all, you basically put yourself at risk.